All right, welcome again as we continue to go through to be a Christian in Anglican Catechism. Today we're going to be doing question 20, and I'm joined by Father Harman Thomas, fellow ACNA priest. So question and answer 20. What does belief in the creed signify? Belief in the creed signifies acceptance of God's revealed truth and the intention to live by it. To reject any element of the creeds signifies a departure from the Christian faith. And we've cited Matthew 16, 13 to 20, 2 Timothy 3, 14 to 15, and 4, 1 to 5, and then the book of James 2, verse 10 to 26. I'll pass it on to Father Harman to share some thoughts about that.
Yeah, so I see kind of three segments of this answer. The first is acceptance of God's truth. Belief in the creed signifies acceptance of God's revealed truth. And this seems probably most basic to us when we think of believing in something. It means that we accept something to be true, we affirm something to be true. But then the answer goes on to kind of expand and say also the intention to live by it, which we don't tend to associate with belief. We tend to think of belief merely as this kind of mental exercise of affirming or accepting a propositional truth. I believe that God exists, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that I intend to live faithfully to God. So I appreciate that the response here includes the intention to live by that revealed truth. And I think that really gets at the meaning of what the word faith means in the New Testament. The Greek word pistis doesn't just mean thinking. It doesn't just mean belief in kind of the reduced way that we think of it today. In Greek, the word pistis means both faith, belief, and faithfulness. There's only one word for those three concepts. And so when we say belief, we ought to also include implicitly, at least, this concept of faithfulness, or as the Catechism puts it, the intention to live by it. So not only do we believe that it's true that God the Father is creator of heaven and earth, for instance, to use the first line from the Apostles' Creed, we also intend to live faithfully to God as our Father and our Creator, right? And so I appreciate that there's both dynamics in the answer here. We accept that it's true that God is the Father and Creator of heaven and earth, but we also intend to live faithfully in light of that truth. And then, of course, on the other side, in the last sentence of the response, to reject any element of the creed signifies a departure from the Christian faith. This should be kind of straightforward, but sadly it's not, so we have to spell it out. This means that this is what we believe as Christians, and to not affirm, to fail to affirm, or to live by these truths in the creeds means that we're not living faithfully as Christians, that there's something sub-Christian about that. And I think that it's sadly necessary for us to affirm these days.
Good. Great thoughts. When I was thinking about the intention to live by it, I love that you pointed that out, Harman. I often point out that the Latin word that gets translated faith, or that gets pistis gets translated with, is fide,
Right.
and where we get our English word fidelity.
Exactly.
So a lot of time I can show loyalty and fidelity to a spouse,
Right.
by keeping my vows regardless of how I'm feeling. I can be faithful, I can be loyal, I can show fidelity by just maintaining vows I've made. Whether I'm having, and similarly with our faith, whether we're having doubts or like we're running into situations where maybe we're questioning our faith, maybe we're wrestling, we can be faithful. We can still continue to be faithful to the Lord and loyal to the Lord in our belief. Yeah.
Exactly.
So really cool stuff. And then I always like to point out that there's Christians that aren't a part of traditions where they talk about the creeds. Like I don't think I ever read a creed until I was in seminary. To be honest, I don't think I ever read a creed until I was in seminary. But I can say with sincerity that I believe these people do believe the creed and live the creed, even if they're not explicit in their affirmation.
Right. Yeah,
of the creed.
definitely.
Yeah. So our brothers and sisters who are in traditions where they might not affirm the creeds, we would say they haven't left the Christian faith,
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
because they believe and live in accordance with the creeds, even if they might
Right.
not recognize, like, hey, this is Article 1 of the Apostles' Creed.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Good point.
Right. Well, yeah, I thought. Well, thanks for sharing that. That again, this was question 20. What does belief in the creed signify? Thanks for listening today as we continue to go through to be a Christian together. God bless.